Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's all good and great and fantastic and wonderful and spectacular and not raining. It's been raining here for days and days and days and my grass looks horrific. But anyway, I brought games with me. I brought my prototypes with me because I want to talk about my brain. Not about these. I mean, these are more of a MacGuffin than anything, but I will let you know that if you don't know me, I've been designing games since the late 90s, but for the past 6 years I took a break. In fact, I looked on the Game Crafter yesterday, and the last time I ordered a prototype from them was in 2015, August of 2015. So almost exactly 6 years ago, I stopped designing games. But this year, I've been back at it again since about May. And for the last 2 months, June and July, these three games have been my obsession. An absolute obsession. I think that most of you who know me know that when I get into something, I go full bore. Like that becomes my everything for a while. And these three games have been no different. Not necessarily game design, but these three particular games. Now, not to get into too heavy detail, two of these games are older designs that I have revitalized and tweaked and made significant improvements to. The first one is a game called Utilities Project. I don't want to give you a complete breakdown on everything, but it is a pretty meaty, medium weight Euro game. It uses tuned decks of resource cards. So imagine Settlers of Catan resource decks, except that each deck has some of the other resources in it, so you don't necessarily always get what you want. And it uses that mechanism to drive a kind of area control route building engine. And this game tested really, really super well with two of my friends, and I've been really excited about it. I ordered a new prototype of it 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, and hopefully it will show up this week. And I'm really, really excited to take this one to game night and show it to other gamers. The other older design is a game that I previously called Hedeby. I'm changing the name to something like Northman Saga or something Viking-ish, but not necessarily historically a name of something that happened in Viking history. I got really excited when I designed this game. It is a city building, resource gathering, engine building game, and I changed it to a Viking theme because a friend told me to. And I got really excited when I heard about this town called Hedeby, because in reality, what actually happened was there was this tiny little fishing village called Hedeby, and this Danish king decided to sack this Slavic town, and he brought all these townspeople and all of their goods and resources to Hedeby, and out of that they built this Viking trading city. And it became a hugely important trading city on the Baltic Sea. It was on an inlet to a river that led to the Atlantic, so it was this huge thoroughfare of goods for the Vikings. And I got really excited about that, but the more I work on this game, the less that excites me, because I feel really constricted by historical accuracy. And the buildings and structures and the mechanisms of this game lean way more towards medieval Europe than it does Vikings. And so I'm taking the name Hedeby off of it and calling it something else. It'll still be raiding themed. You'll still be going out on boats and raiding, but it's not necessarily going to be... I'm not going to be trying to tie it to historical accuracy. I think that I need a little bit more lateral movement. I've also considered recently just completely retheming it to like a interplanetary system type thing, where we're building a new Earth and we have to go raid other planets for resources and people. And lastly, train game, 2-player train game. Stocks, putting trains on a board, payouts, dividends, markets, that sort of stuff. Love all three of these. And this one, the 2-player train game, just kind of fell out of my head and has been working from day one. And it got inspired by Em. She said she wished I'd design a 2-player game so that we could play together and we don't have to wait on other people. And that's what I did. And actually, that's why the Viking game came out again, was because I thought maybe I can play that 2-player. And we tried it and we loved it, and then I made tweaks. All that's to say, the real reason I brought these down here to talk about them is because I ordered the prototype, the new prototype for the train game and the Viking game yesterday. And I ordered them because I want to show these to publishers at Gen Con. That's about 6 weeks out or 5 weeks out. And I order all of my prototypes from a site called the Game Crafter. And around this time of year, they usually get backed up because people are trying to get games processed before the convention season, and they were backed up, and I might not get these in time. My current estimated ship date right now is September 10th, and I leave on September 14th. That's cutting it really darn close. So these games might not make it, well, they'll make it to Gen Con, they just might not make it in a nice form that I was hoping to have. The train game I could remake pretty easily with new components and make it look okay. The Viking game has like hundreds of cards, hundreds and hundreds of cards, and I don't want to make all of those. So I really, it's completely dependent on receiving the prototype. But the thing that about me, as I said earlier, is that I get really absorbed into things, and these things have taken all of my time and energy over the last 2 months. And the interesting part about it is, the moment I hit that order button, I knew this was going to happen. As soon as I ordered them, that all shut off. It all went away, right? Because now I am waiting on physical components. I'm waiting on the newest version, right? In my head, I need that new version, because there's no point in testing these anymore. I'm not, I can play them. I will play the train game from now until it arrives, but I'm not testing it. I'm not making changes. I'm just playing it because I want to play it. And if there are changes, they can be rule changes, because I can edit those for the rest of my life. But component-wise, information-wise, these aren't changing. They're not getting adjusted until, probably months after I receive the next prototype, when I can play it and play it and play it and add new things and tweak new things. So ordering them shut off that part of my brain completely. Like, I'm freed up. I'm not obsessing over these right now. And that's a really good thing, because it's been Em kind of called me out on it the other day. She said, you still have a career, and you still have family, and you still have, relationships and friendships, and you need to focus on those things too. And I said, yeah, you're right. And it can become really difficult when you get absorbed into something like this. But the good news is they're off my plate for right now. I did think up of a couple of things for the Viking game during lunchtime, a couple of card mechanics that I didn't really consider that maybe I'll add in at some point in the future, but it's nothing I'm going to add in anytime soon, because I've already ordered it. I'm not going to go make new cards and reorder them. The other thing is a part of my past has recently resurfaced, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't excited about that. And this part of my past is asking for some of my time to help bring some projects to fruition, and I'm ready and willing to help. Now that these are off my plate for a while, I can focus some energy there, and I think that probably in the not too distant future I will be able to tell you about that. I know that's weird, and I don't like it when people do the teasy thing, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. I'm not even really sure what's going to happen there, but some things are in motion that could turn out to be pretty cool. So we'll see. But for now, I'm done designing these. And I might be done designing these for quite a while. I mean, the hope is I show them to a publisher at Gen Con and they take it with them. And they go, I will get back to you. Because ultimately, I really enjoyed the relationship that I had with Mayfair when we worked on the Viking game together. They had it for 4 or 5 years, and we tweaked it and adjusted it together. They gave me feedback. I adjusted. They played it. I really enjoyed that process. And I hope that I can find a publisher for all 3 of these games that's willing to work with me on that. Train game? Probably not. It's a 2-player game, and it's trains. And that's a tough sell. There's not a whole lot of people making train games. There's only a couple of publishers that are willing to do it. And there's not a huge market. So I seriously doubt I could find a publisher willing to make this. So that might mean that Chevee has to publish it. And I'm more than willing to do that, as long as I can figure out a way to do it, right? There's a lot of components. There's a whole lot of trains. There's a lot of cards, board, tokens, that sort of stuff. If I can figure out a way to do it, I'll do it. But ultimately, I would love to find a publisher who's willing to take a chance on it. So I get to take a breather. I'm still writing the rules, and if you want to help me with that and help me edit, let me know. Send me an email. My email should be in the description of this video. If not, you can check the About tab, and my email will be there. And you can send me an email saying, hey, Chevee, I want to help you edit rules. And I will send you links to the rules for all 3 of these projects, and you can help me go over them and make them better. That's what I have. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is harpy. It is a noun meaning a greedy and predatory person or a scolding and shrewish woman. That harpy Charlotte can't wait to get her claws into Bruce, Nancy observed. Harpy, H-A-R-P-Y. So what came first, the word or the mythological creature? I'm going to guess the mythological creature. It's just a guess.